Hey there, it's Dave of FlipperForce. It's September 16th, and I just wanted to share a quick update on what we're currently working on and what we have planned for our software for the very near future. So if you go up here to Features and then go down to Software Roadmap, this is where you'll find our software roadmap, where you'll find all of the information about what we've recently been working on, what we just recently completed, what we're currently working on and have in progress, what we're planning on working on next, and what we have in the backlog here. So you can see right now we're buttoning up some stuff on our BRRRR results page, basically doing some formatting changes, stuff like that. We've been working on that for quite a while now, but one of the things we're going to be adding is tooltips and stuff like that and video tutorials, so that way all of these calculations that we got going on, you'll have little tooltips that'll explain that kind of stuff to you. So be looking for that in the near future. And then we're also launching a new rental investment packet. So similar to our flip investment packet, this rental investment packet will take all of your financial information from the BRRRR calculator, put it into a printer-friendly format, and then you'll be able to share that or print it to a PDF. So those are the current things that we're currently working on. We've got a couple other tweaks and changes that we'd like to make to the estimator for those of you that are doing small multifamily stuff. But really what I want to talk about today is some new changes that we're going to be making to our property overview page. We're going to be making a lot of workflow changes that I really think are going to transform the way that our app looks and feels. So as of right now, if you go to our property details page, so this is what our current property details page looks like. So the property details page, this is just a page that has your general property information as far as like what's the number of beds, baths, square footage, some other stuff about the construction of the property, school information, stuff like that. So this is a page that you'll go to as soon as you add your project. As soon as you activate a project, this is the landing page that you land on. So there's not a lot of like information about the project as far as like what stage it's in or anything like that. It's really, in my opinion, just kind of worthless at this point. We're really wanting to revamp this to make it a little bit more meaningful. So every time you activate a project, you'll know exactly where the project is, what stage it's at, stuff like that. So this is our new property overview page. So the property overview page, this is just really going to be a landing page that anytime you add a new project, anytime you activate a project, it's going to have all of the important information that's going on with that project. So, you know, what stage is it in? What's the status of the project? What are the key project dates and milestones? What are the risks on the project? What's been happening on the project? So you can see we've got an activity feed showing everything that's been happening on that project, so you can see, you know, what you've done last on the project, or maybe if you're working with your team members, you can see Travis Kelsey. He's been pretty active in our software. He uploaded some photos. He's been doing some stuff as far as like project management. So that'll be a lot more informative for you to keep you up to date on what's been happening, but then also provide a better task list that shows you what needs to get done on your project. So you can see we've got a bunch of overdue tasks over here. We've got some tasks due today. We've got some tasks upcoming. So just providing an overall view of everything that needs to get done on the project and just kind of giving you an overview of where the project's at. So the first aspect of that is really what's the stage of the project. So this is just a tool that you can use to visually show what stage you're in. Right now we do have this functionality as far as like just a drop down menu, so you can see this is what it looks like today. So you just got a handful of stages and it's broken down into due diligence, active projects, completed, etc. So we've added in we're going to add in a couple more options here, kind of the same workflow, but just providing a better visual feedback showing, you know, this is kind of the stage of where you're at. You're going to initially analyze a deal, go through the due diligence process. Once you get the property under contract, it's going to be an active project. It'll be under construction, and then finally, once you sell it, it'll be a completed project. And what that's going to do is we've got a new project dashboard here. And so this will be your new project dashboard, and that will be used to help organize your projects. So right now, all of your projects are on one project view, and it just gets extremely long, especially if you've got a whole bunch of projects going on. So you can see this is what it currently looks like. And so what we want to do is make the overall project dashboard more meaningful for you as well. So, the overview page, this will show you maybe some of your recent or favorite projects. So that way you can quickly go to those projects. You can also, see what's been happening, what needs to get done, stuff like that. But then it's going to be organized by those stages. So you'll have a list of all of your leads, and then you can kind of work those leads through that workflow. So is it a new lead that just came in the door and you haven't really done anything with it? Have you contacted the seller? Have you made an appointment? Did you make an offer? So this, I think, is going to be a little bit easier, more easy to manage compared to our current setup where, it's really just a table view and it's just showing you information that's really not that important. Your street, your city, state, zip code, that stuff doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. You really need to have more information about where the project currently is at in the lead flow. So that's what we're hoping to accomplish with this new layout, so that way you can drag and drop and move your projects through that workflow as you're working it as a lead, but also as you are working it as a construction project. So as the project goes through the different stages, is it on hold? Is it in the planning or permitting process? Is it under construction? Are you done with construction and now you're in the punch list stage? Did you finally get it listed on the market? So now it's just sitting on the market. Then you've got pending sale. And then finally, what are the projects that you've completed? So this can be a nice spot, so that way you can see all of the successful completed projects that you've got completed in your portfolio. And then you could also, if you've got some rental properties or something like that, you'd have a list of all of your active rental properties that you have in your portfolio as well. So that's really where we're going with that, and that's kind of with those changes with this the project stage where you've got the due diligence, you've got active projects, and then you've got completed. Those stages will feed over into these different stages that we've got here. So we hope that'll make that a little bit easier for you to manage all of your different projects in their different stages, instead of having a big long list of all of your projects on one dashboard like this in this table view, which can get a little bit cumbersome. We're hoping that new card view will be a little bit easier for you to manage. If we go back to the property overview page, that's really kind of the project stage, and what that does is it's really helping you move that deal through the flow from the initial purchase of the property through construction to getting it sold. Another thing that we're wanting to add is this property photos widget. So this is just going to be a little widget on the property overview page that's showing you all of your latest property photos. But what that's going to feed from is going to be from your project photo log. So this will just be a new area where you can bulk upload all of your project photos, and they'll be listed in chronological order, so that way you can see how your project is evolving over time. So this can be an area where you can upload all of your project photos. So your before photos, when you go out to the property, you take all of your before photos, you can upload them in here. As you're building out the property, doing your construction, you can have your construction photos in here, and then you can have your final photos in here. So it'll be a way for you to really manage all of your property photos in one location. So right now we just have the document manager, and quite frankly it needs some work. It's a place where you can just manage your documents and your images and all that stuff in one place, but we wanted to provide an isolated place, a dedicated tool for managing your project photos, and then documents will still be kind of a separate location. But these photos that you upload in here, they'll feed back over to your property overview page, so that way you can just kind of see all of your latest photos that you've got uploaded. Another widget that we want to add to the project overview page is going to be this project dates and milestones. So you can see we've got a property purchase date, the construction start date, construction completion, open house date, which could be a goal, and then property sale date, goal. So this is just another way for you to manage these key dates and milestones. As of right now, we just have our project scheduler, which is really going to be used for managing the construction start and completion date. But there are other important dates in a flip when you're purchasing the property. So what is that exact purchase date? What is your goal for getting the property listed on the market? And then what is your goal, or what is the date that you actually sell the property? Another request that we've been getting a lot is custom statuses and stuff like that. So the ability to add a custom status to a project. So what we want to do with this is give you the ability to add your own tags, your own flags to the project. So you could say, you know, the project is on hold waiting for inspections. You could select some kind of status color, add a more detailed description here if you wanted to, and then basically what that's going to do is it's going to, you know, display on this property overview page, but then it will also feed back over here to the overall project dashboard, so that way you can quickly see your status of the project. So you can see hot lead, cold lead, stuff like that. You can see this project's on schedule, this one's on hold. So that's the idea behind those new statuses, is it's a way for you to display what the project status is on the project directly on this property overview page, but that information will also feed back over to your project dashboard, so that way you can just catch a glimpse of the different project stages and statuses of all of your projects that you've got under construction or stuff like that. And then, you know, another one is like project risks. So if you just want a place to list like project risks or stuff that's going to impact the schedule or impact your budget, this is a new tool that you can use to just quickly list out all of the different risks that you might run into on the project. So this will be good if maybe you are working with a project team and you want to keep them up to date on some things that might be impacting your budget or your schedule, stuff like that. And then I briefly talked about our activity feed. So this is just going to be a project activity feed showing all of the major changes that are happening on your project. So if a project changes the stage, if some photos get uploaded, if somebody edits an estimate, changes the schedule, stuff like that, this will be just kind of a feed showing all of the stuff going on the project. And then over here, this is just basically a task list, which will feed from your task manager, but it's going to list out all of your tasks that are overdue, due today, and upcoming, so that way you know everything that needs to get done on your project. So that is a quick overview of our property overview page. Hopefully you like those changes that we're making. We think it'll make the property details and property overview page a lot more valuable and meaningful, instead of it just being a place where you can store your property information. It'll have all the major important information that you need to get done on the project, stuff like that. And I guess I would say one other change over here on the left hand side, we recently had a user say that they were a little overwhelmed with the way that our sidebar looks. So I mean, if you look at our existing sidebar, we've got a lot going on here. We've got probably 10 to 15 different tools and a whole bunch of reports. And so that can get a little bit overwhelming. So one of the things that we're going to be looking at is maybe simplifying our sidebar, putting these in collapsible drop-down menus, so that way it's nice and neat and clean. And if you want to, you know, see those different tools or whatnot, it'll be a lot cleaner for you and maybe a little less overwhelming. So I think that was about it. So I mean, a lot of these changes are going to be pretty time consuming. So as far as like a timeline, I'd be looking for this stuff maybe next month. We're going to start launching this stuff in phases. So the property overview page will probably launch, you know, a revamp of this page in particular, and then we'll start building out these little widgets on the page, stuff like that. So be looking for these new tools and features over the course of the next month or so. If you do have any feedback or suggestions on anything on what you'd like to see or get included, just let us know and we'll see if we can work that in.